something's going down outside. Anyway guys, good morning. Something a little bit different today. This was actually going to go in another video, but I thought I'd put it in this one, make it a video of its own, because I think it might be quite useful for some people. Anyway, I've been asked quite a lot about kind of how I make the music for the vlogs, and I've kind of touched on it a little bit, but I think what I might do, let me know what you think. If you think it's a bad idea, just let me know. But what I might do is kind of like a kind of little mini series on how I make the music for the videos, because I know there's people out there that kind of make their own videos and might want to make their own music for it as well, because the whole music thing, putting music to videos is difficult. One, it's difficult to find music that's any good to go with your videos, and also when you do find that music, can you use it, can you monetize it, you know, all those sort of kind of things. So this is why I make the music for my videos, for those main reasons. Also, I have had a kind of music career, so I wanted to get back into it basically and start producing music again. Anyway guys, I'll dive straight into it. This is what I filmed the other day. So a couple of people have been asking about the music and how like it all kind of goes together. So I'll just show you basically how I do it if you're interested. So normally, like at the moment with this drum machine, I start off by basically making a beat. So I've kind of built this up. Let's turn the volume up a bit. So I've basically built this beat up. You can see all the different components. This is really cool because you can basically use this like a mixer, and you can, you know, basically turn everything off. So you start with a kick drum, and then you can obviously bring in other things. This is conventional sort of drum pattern stuff. Those of you that know how this works, it basically runs a pattern from left to right. So if you put it in the conventional drum mode, that's the bass drum there. So if you push the bass drum button there, so this is this one here, just that sound, you'll see this is basically playing that, and then you move to the snare. If we turn the snare on, you'll see it plays the pattern like that, and that's the same for all the other things as well. And you can assign different sounds to different pads and all sorts. But basically, if you bring all these things up, there's some strange thing there. I think it is. Yeah. So I'll just mute that out. So that's like my pattern that I create. So I start off with like a beat. Most of the time I start off with a beat, because that's kind of how I'm setting the scene for something in a video. Like if I want something fast paced, I can make a fast beat. It's easier to start with a beat and then work from that. I don't always make these things for something specific. I might just make it just because I'm messing around. Or I may start on the keyboard, and I might just, you know, create something, get inspired by some sounds on here, you know, and then because there's so many sounds on this system, you can just scroll through all of the different sounds you've got, you know, maybe get inspired by different stuff. The same with this keyboard as well, you know, but this one's very hands-on because you've got all the different you know, the cut-offs and stuff which you can do, like cut-off frequency and resonance. You can create some really nice stuff. This enables you to just create sounds from scratch. Really good for bass lines, things like that. So once I've kind of made this beat on here, this is all standalone, so you're not using a computer. So you know, this is the great thing about this. You can just turn this on and it's running without having to fire up like a DAW. Now, DAW is a digital audio workstation, if anyone didn't know, and that's basically what I'm using on here. It's Logic. It's running on the Mac. My little Mac's here. I use a little MacBook, not even a Pro. This is just a MacBook, normal MacBook. It's like my second computer. But the reason I like this is because it's fanless, and it's reasonably powerful, and it just basically doesn't. I mean, it gets warmish. You know, it's not the fastest thing in the world, but it's enough to kind of get ideas down, and also enough for kind of audio and stuff like that. So how do I get this onto the computer so that then we can start laying down tracks and stuff like that? Well, this has got a USB port on the back of it. I won't show you, but basically it's a USB port, and it plugs into the computer. And what it does is it actually plugs into the computer and acts as a sound card to the computer. So you can basically start playing stuff on here, and if you go up to here, you can see these level meters moving up the top on that top track, that's the sounds from this going into the computer. So what I've done here is I've just recorded all of the parts. So you can see here, I'll mute everything else. These top 4 are basically the drum tracks and everything from here. So when I play this back on the computer, you can see that playing, or hear that playing. So this can now be turned off, and what you've got on the computer is recorded as audio. So it's effectively bounced onto this, onto the workstation. So then that allows you to just basically, yeah, you can mess around with this now. You can just turn that off or start another project, and it's saved as audio in here. So it's a really neat, quick workflow, which is getting something from a hands-on bit of gear right the way to, you know, having proper editing features and being able to build a song very easily on a screen with a mouse and a keyboard. And then this synth here, this is basically running on the computer anyway. This is a software synthesizer. So if you open up this down here, you'll see when that comes up, that is basically what's running on the keyboard. So the sound's coming out of the computer. Because it's coming out of the computer, it just runs directly as a channel on here. So you don't have to do any kind of bouncing out and all this sort of stuff. Now, I don't have to use this for drums. I can actually use some of the built-in drums and stuff like that, which I do sometimes, but at the moment I'm really liking this because it's just so easy to make grooves and make something really quickly and get it down. You can add samples to this as well. You can add your own sounds in, but at the moment I'm just using some of most of the built-in stuff that's in there already. Now for this thing here, I made a bass line. This is the bass line. Now originally what I did was make it on here. I started playing this. I mean, that sounds nothing like that sound because I've started to mess around with it now. But I turned the arpeggiator off, and you know, it's a similar sort of sound, but I started to make this bass sound on here. And then what you can do with this, because this keyboard is also connected by USB to the Mac, and if we go down to the channel which that's on, you'll see this. You'll see it looks very similar to that, because this is actually the software version of the keyboard. So basically it allows you to emulate what you're doing on that keyboard on software. So you don't really need this keyboard, but the great thing is you can use this keyboard to control all the parameters on this. So once you've got this open and running, you know, I don't think I haven't got this activated at the moment because I was having a few problems. But so all I did with that really is just bounce out the audio as another track. So now this is an audio track. So that's kind of basically how I've built up this little song, and it ends up being sounding like this. And now that's all playing from the computer, not using any hardware. That's all in the computer now, and then I can bounce that out as like a, you know, WAV file or, you know, AIFF file, and then dump that straight into a video. That's how quick the workflow is. But it allows you to use equipment and real gear to actually get inspiration and do it rather than just sitting on a laptop. A lot of the music I've made has just been on the laptop with headphones, believe it or not. None of this gear's needed. But I always crave that kind of hands-on feeling. I need to have a keyboard in front of me to really be able to create something that I'm really happy with. Right, so there you go then. Hope you found that useful. I didn't go into too much detail about how I kind of do things. It was just kind of like a off the cuff, just basic rundown of how I'm making the music these days. But if you want to know more, just let me know in the comments if there's one particular area that you want to know or you'd find interesting. And who knows, if it is popular, I might do more of these videos, like a sort of mini series or something like that. So as always guys, let me know what you think in the comments. Don't forget you can download my music as well. It's all on my website. It's a way of kind of supporting me and supporting the channel and all that sort of stuff. I don't use Patreon, as I've mentioned before, so I'd rather sort of sell my music and other products and stuff that I can get hold of through the website. So go and check that out if you're interested, and yeah, I'll catch you in the next video.